Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Glassman's World. Good morning. It is Friday, November the 7th, I believe. And I can't believe we're already this far into November already. It's been a pretty interesting few weeks here with everything going on, with the government shutdown, with the whole EBT, the SNAP benefits, people having issues with getting food and things like that on their tables. No one's really knowing what's going on. Everyone's kind of it's all questionable and up in the air. So it's been pretty interesting lately. I've been doing all right. Been just working as much as I can, keeping things going, um, and today I wanted to actually make something for a friend who recently celebrated a birthday. So I wanted to reach out and not reach out. I wanted to make this for a friend who I will probably be seeing today here in a little while. We'll see if I can get it done in time though. It needs to go in the kiln and then cool down and be ready here in a little while. So I don't know. We'll see if the kiln even gets up to temperature. I just turned it on at about 7 o'clock, 10 minutes ago. And it went from about 70 degrees to it's working a little under 500 now. So I'm about halfway there. All right. I do believe we got the chat on here. So if you guys are up and watching, let me know. I'm messing up my live stream here. Okay, so we're going to attempt to make a lavender plant or a lavender flower, basically like a lavender sprig. And we're going to make that in glass. So let's get this started here. Let's get the torch on. Let's get everything going. Let's see what kind of delay we got here. It's a few second delay. Watch. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6 1007. Okay, it's a 7-second delay. That's interesting. So I'm watching my monitor right here. I can see when people come in, when people are watching, when people hit that like button, and when people comment. So it's interesting. I can hit that, and then 7 seconds later, it shows up on my screen. So there's a 7-second delay. All right, let's get our glasses on. Always got to wear the didymiums. I am speaking quietly, so let me know if you guys can hear me or not. Everyone's still asleep, so I'm basically just whispering into the phone here. All right, so we're going to be working on a lavender plant, which I posted up in the screen. Let me see if we can give you a quick screenshot of it here. So it's basically going to look like that. Something like that. Or we're going to attempt to. We'll see. Alright, so I have two different colors of purple here. A darker and a lighter. And this is the is that called the purple purple? Purple, oh, purple. Oh, come on. I'll read it. Purple. So that's the purple opal. And then the other one, I don't know if this one is what that one's called. But they're pretty much ready to go. They got stringers already pulled. We're probably gonna do a white background. I'm gonna make a flat back style. Oh, and then here, let me heat this up real quick. And we're gonna need some green here. So good morning, everyone. It's about 7 o'clock here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, USA. That's Mountain Standard Time. Uh-oh, my computer's glitching out again. Alright, so we're gonna pull a stringer here. We just get the color molten, and then we just pull some color out, keep it nice and straight. You know, this color is actually a little, when I pull it thin, it kind of looks a little translucent. So I'm thinking I'm going to do something else. Alright, we'll get this green here. Oh, there goes my computer, shut down. Alright, so we'll just pull a stringer here. So good morning, guys. I see a few of you are watching right now. I'll get the computer back on here so I can see if anyone is commenting or chatting right now. This will be my very first attempt at making a lavender piece of anything in glass. I've never attempted this before. So I'm basically just going to flatten the clear glass. I'll make a flat back pendant. And I'm just going to draw on the back side of it. I need to get me some new tweezers here. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that, but these are completely jacked up. They should be flat, but I've used them for so many years and overheated them that they're just bent on the tips. Alright, so we got some green now. That'll look a lot better. Alright, so then we'll get the 16 millimeter rod. I always work with 16 mil. I used to get the 12.75, but pretty much nowadays I'm just so used to working with the 16 millimeter rod. It's Scott glass or Scott, SCHOTT. I call it Scott glass from Germany. It is the most transparent, cleanest clear glass that's available with the least amount of impurities. And I buy it by the case. You know, it's one thing I wanted to try to figure out was, when was the last time I purchased this case of glass and the other case of glass, which is the, I have a case of I don't know if it's 7 millimeter. It's either 5 millimeter or 7 millimeter rod. I believe it's 7 mil. And that's what I use those to make the ripples on the hot air balloons. I don't know if we'll need it at all today. So in order to make this a flat back pendant, we're going to heat up the tip of this rod here, and then we're going to flatten it down on the pad. I'll try to do this in a spot where you can see it. So we get the tip of it all nice and molten like that. And get it all white hot. And then we mash it down, and when we mash it, we want to keep the rod centered with the glass that's mashing out. So you want to spin it as you flatten it so you can see like the edge or the rim of the glass when it's flattening out. And you can see that it's like coming out evenly on all sides. And then I always make sure that it's flat. You get the paddle, hold it up at like eye level, and then you just flatten it. So now we have a drawing surface right here. And I'm gonna take a look at the pictures here, so I won't be able to read any chat, but good morning to you all who's watching here. And I'm just gonna try to draw this here. Okay, we got three sprigs. One in the middle, tall. And I'll just flatten that up against the side of my torch there. I don't have a marving tool up here. Let's see. Oops, I didn't connect it. I'm going to try to go in there and just grab it and pull it and elongate it. And I'll make sure that it attaches to the glass so it doesn't come apart. You know what? I'm already thinking I messed up. Dang it. I already messed up. We could turn this into a green peace sign. Look it. That's funny. Can you make a perfect circle in glass? Just kidding. Like, that's completely not perfect at all. What happened over here? I'm just gonna move it back over like, oops, I drew it way too far over. So I'm just gonna manipulate it. We're gonna heat up that rim and then just use my tweezers here and just force it back over. There you go. There, that's a perfect circle. So we just made a peace sign because I messed up. And the reason why I messed up is because I should have put the flower petals down first. Because then we're just going to see the stem right through it because we're going to look through the front. So I need to actually draw the petals, the little flower petals first. So here's the green peace sign. You know, it would be kind of cool is to color it in. Alright, I'm just going to color in the empty spots there. And I don't know if I've ever done a peace sign, actually, now that I think about it. I'm like, huh, that was kind of easy. I like that. Anytime I do line work, I tend to get quiet on you guys, so sorry about that. Alright. I'm going to pull a thick stringer here, and then we're going to do a band around that outer green rim, and kind of like encase this whole thing. Alright, let's see if I can get a good line going around the green. Let me just find a good spot to start. Alright. So it wasn't what we were going to make at all. But I didn't want to lose that color, so let's turn it into something at least. And then we'll get back to the lavender here. And just try to fix this real quick. Sorry about that, guys. Like, we're making lavender. No, we're not. We're making peace signs here. So now what I'm doing is I'm covering up all the green from the peace sign, so then the whole back is just going to be yellow. And try not to mess up the pattern or the design underneath. And just cover up any of that green that's sticking out. What I'm doing is I'm pushing the color into some of the grooves, so that way I don't trap any kind of like air bubbles and things. Cool. Alright, it should be all yellow now. Oh, I cleaned my torch tip last night. It is burning a lot smoother, a lot better now. Alright, we're almost done with this. Just gotta melt it down and put a loop on it here, and then we'll get back to that lavender. Yeah, that flame is melting it so much better. That torch tip really needed a cleaning. So I got this tool here, which has got all these, basically these like, all these little tiny needles, and the smallest one is one that I need for my torch tip up here. You just go through and you clean out the port. Because when you're burning it for a while, sometimes like soot will build up and it'll start to clog the port. So you got to clean the ports out. You got to always do a little bit of fine tuning and just cleaning up your torch. I've had this torch since like 2000, so for 25 years now, I've kept it. I think I've maybe replaced this tip one time. The bottom tip I can't replace. The big burner I can't replace, but this one it's replaceable. I can add all kinds of different tips to it. All right, so we were working on a lavender, but I messed up and realized I need to draw all of the flowers first and then draw the stems behind it. And then I also realized the stems are going to have to be a lot thinner. So I'm going to have to pull a super thin stringer and really make it happen. And so I just turn that into a peace sign. So that's a flat back peace sign right there. It's going to be green and yellow. I'll have some cool colors to it. So now I got to flame cut it off here. And I only got a little bit of time. Hopefully I can pull this off and still do the lavender so I can get it in the kiln. I'm trying to get this done quick before I get my daughter to school today. She'll be waking up in 25 minutes. And then we got to go in about an hour and a half. So I think I still got enough time. And we're still waiting for the kiln to get up to temperature as well. So maybe it was good to mess up on this one here so we could do this. I could give this one either a green bell or a yellow bell. I might do yellow so then it matches the part that's on the outside. Alright, then I'm just going to squeeze this and we're going to pull it off. We'll keep it domed on the front here. Cool, that's a full color pendant right there. Maybe I'll do a green. I don't know. It's like there's a lot of yellow there. I could then add the green to it to kind of accent it. I seen a little piece of like dust or dirt or something on the surface, so I just took this piece of glass and stuck it on there and pulled it off to wipe it. Oh yeah, that's burning so much better. It's melting it so much smoother. With the torch tip being clean. That looks nice. Alright, so this is what it looks like here. I'm just wondering, do I want to do yellow? Yeah, probably yellow. I have more yellow anyways. Got more yellow than green. Alright, so now I gotta find the top of it. Or we can make it the original, upside down, to represent the tree symbol. But most people understand it as the other way. I just put that right on the top. Nice and straight there. Then we just bring the color around and form the loop. And get the reamer. And force that color directly back to it. So yeah, now that yellow is just going to match, mix in with the yellow, so it looks like it's going to be all flowing through instead of green on yellow. Cool. So that's done. It's a cool little peace sign right there. Green and yellow. I've never made one of these, so this is a one of a kind as of right now. But that'll eventually change because I'll make more. I'll probably price this one at $40, I guess. Maybe less. So if you're interested in it, let me know. Yeah, that looks cool. It came out nice. Alright, we'll drop that in the kiln. We'll start this lavender. Now that I know how I messed up. We'll do the petals first. Flower petals, then draw the branch behind it. Or the stem. And the kiln is now at 820. And we need it to get to 1050. To 1050 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. So let's do this again. I'm going to take a peek at the lavender image here. So it looks like there's about 3 to 4 little flowers popping up. Little lines. Alright. They kind of look like little hemp leaves. Like in clusters, kind of. About 3 to 5 little things. So I don't know if I can even do 3 branches. I may have to just do like 1 branch for that kind of detail. So we'll start with the center and we'll see how that looks. Wow, I'm like thinking like, all right, I gotta really draw them small and then try to keep that detail in there. All right, so we'll flatten it out again. So spinning it and making sure that it's even when I flatten it, so it's not like moved over to one side or another too much. Okay, if that's how it's gonna be, wow. I was gonna try to do 3 branches. This is the size that I'm able to draw those on there. I don't know if I can go much smaller than that. Unless I just like mimic. Like I saw one where it was like mimicked dots everywhere. Maybe we could do that one. I don't know. Sorry, I went quiet again doing line work. Okay. All right. Well, it's like a little short sprig with 2 little tiny pieces of lavender. Hey, good morning. How are you? Cool. It's almost 8 o'clock. We'll go in about 45 minutes or so. There's waffles if you want. So my daughter's up now. Like I said, it's about 8 o'clock. So we'll be leaving in within the hour here. I'll try to make one more, but I'm going to attempt the other way. And then what I'm hoping to do is shrink this one down so as I heat it up, that design, it's gonna kind of like just do this. It's gonna like get smaller and smaller and smaller the more I heat it up. And it also like sinks in, embeds itself into the glass deeper and deeper. So that way the detail will look a lot smaller than what I drew it on. But I don't think I can draw too many more. I was going to try to draw 3 sprigs. And just flatten it. So I don't know if you can see the pattern there. I hope it looks good. I don't have much more time. I'm gonna attempt to make another one in a different style, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull it all off or not. We'll see. But as you can see, it's starting to it's starting to shrink in a little bit more and a little bit more. It's getting like that. There's a trick to doing it, is making sure you got the whole thing heated up and then allowing that flame to bring the glass melt around the edge, the brim, and then it slowly starts to fall into itself, into the center. But it's so slow. You gotta liquefy the glass and then allow the gravity or the whatever it is to pull it in. It's not really centrifugal force. So right now, this is basically called a compression marble, where I'm compressing that design in using the heat. And I said a compression marble, but it's a compression technique. We're not making marbles here. Nice. And then I was thinking of adding that white background, but I don't think I want the flower on the background. So what I might do is add a little bit of clear glass to float it. Get the Norwex OptiCloth here. Let's make sure it's all nice and clean. I'm just going to heat up the tip of this, and I'm going to just stick a little bit of this clear glass right to it. Oh, I don't know if you see that. There's like a little line. There's color on there, so I got to get rid of that color real quick. Oh, there's something else on there. A little speck of dust or dirt, something. Whatever it is, it's glowing when it gets hot. Whenever there's like dirt or dust or anything, you'll be able to see it like glow bright on the surface of the glass. So you want to remove those things so you don't have any impurities on your glass. Alright, so we're just going to seal these together. We're going to fuse them. And you get this hot. We get this hot. We're going to make sure we don't trap any air bubbles in between. Or at least do our best. And just cover the whole design. Make sure it's completely covered. The stem and all. We want to make sure there's nothing sticking out the edge here. And then I'm just going to flame cut this off. And get a tighter heat there, a little bit more oxygen. I'm basically just going to pull this right back off now. And we'll probably wipe a lot of that away tremendously. But I do want to make sure that everything is covered. So I'm going to go in and just mash it down. And now that flour is embedded in between the two pieces of clear glass. And now when I put the background on it, this is going to float away from it and not actually be up on the background. So it's going to look like I put it inside the piece of glass somehow. Like the way the mushrooms look and the jellyfish. But those are actually pushed in there. Those are implosions. And you implode that design in there. This one I drew on the surface, and so I had to cover it in order to make it look like it's inside the piece of glass. A little bit extra work. This is a more detailed piece of glass here. And like I said, this is for a friend. This is actually for my friend's daughter or child. Or it's a grown adult child. So. But it's for one of her kids, basically. I could just leave it clear like that, but I'm thinking the white will make that purple pop out and everything else. So the white tends to want to boil and bubble up, so I brought the oxygen ratio down compared to the propane. That way it's a little bit softer on the white here. Alright, so I got this all molten here. We're going to mash it right to the back side here. We'll put enough white on there so it'll really spread out. So now I'll get the white nice and molten here. And then I'll use the paddle and we'll flatten it and mash it so it forces its way out to the edge there. And now that little piece of white just became like as wide and as big as that whole piece. Now we'll just melt it all down, and we'll bring out, take it off the rod in the front. We'll definitely pull a lot of that clear glass from the front. And I am so glad I cleaned the ports on my torch last night. It is burning so much smoother and better. It kept on wanting to spit out, like it was all going psh, psh. It was like changing its like pressure and stuff. It was bad. Which means that my glass is going to melt a lot quicker, and my timing on things will be a lot quicker these days. All right, it's only 8:06 or 8:10, something like that. I'm looking at the computer, but I know that my computer time is wrong compared to what it really is. Probably get working more towards like 8:15 right now. All right, now the white's all melted down. I can start working on pulling it off the front here. I'll definitely clean off this punchy here. You can see there's a big old chunk of something on there. We'll pull it off. And like I said, eventually the punchy will get shorter and shorter to where it'll be too short to be able to use. And then we just grab another piece of scrap glass, and that becomes a punchy. All right, so now we're going to just cut it off. And now I have to decide, am I going to leave it with a clear loop or bail on top, or are we going to make a white bail to match the back? Oh man, I'm really hoping that purple didn't get all weird on me. Looking like it might have got real translucent, cleared out, and a little bubbly. Maybe I should have used a darker purple, I don't know. And whenever you make something for the first time and you learn about how things look at the end, That's the hardest part of making custom glass and then trying to make things for a certain time frame. Will the dark purple be better? Should I have used the dark purple instead? Probably should have used the dark purple. Because now it just looks like it's clear. Oh, and there's a lot of air bubbles in there, man. Dang it. Alright. That's going to be a first failed attempt. I don't know if I can pull another one off. We can try to use the other purple. Man, all that work, all that glass, all that time glass invested, not gonna come out good. I can tell already, and there's too much air bubbles for me. There's too much. You just leave it like that, turn it into a magnet. Well, it's a nice shaped pendant. It looks cool. It really does. When it's heated up, it looks cool. But when it cools down, you can't see that purple. Maybe leaving that white, it'll show that purple. I think I'm giving it a clear loop because I don't like it and I don't want to waste more color on it. Well, the green is definitely better. And I did put it behind the petals, like 3 times the charm. time is it? I still got 30 minutes. Only 30 minutes, though. And that took what, 45? I could try one more. I don't know, maybe it comes out. Maybe the lavender looks alright. Maybe there's not too many air bubbles. I'm trying to be okay with it. Actually, the purple is coming out. I can see it. Okay, well, there it is. You can almost see the purple, and then those stems behind it way too thick. I'm gonna have to do better line work. And then there's way too much air bubbles from that purple. That purple just boiled up on me. So not a good color for little details. So this is, I don't even know what I should do. I'll kiln it, I guess, so it doesn't just crack. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe someone likes it. And that green, it looks brown right now, but it will turn green. It'll become this emerald green here. Or I don't know if it is forest green. It's a darker green. Probably looks black on the camera. Alright, well, this one's going in the kiln. Let's try one more maybe. Oh, but that peace sign looks cool. So I'm glad I made a mistake and created that peace sign earlier. Alright, let's try it one more time, I guess. Alright, I gotta do a real-time check here. 8:24. Okay, we're gonna try to do that quicker version like I was saying. And I was hoping to really be done with it already so I could have had it in the kiln and then turn off the kiln by now. So I would have time to cool the kiln down and then take this with me in a little bit. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, darker purple. Okay. So this one's going to be more of an artistic interpretation of it, and it might actually come out the best. I got to pull this green really, really thin here. All right. Hello. I'm trying to make the lavender. Okay, and this might be more of an artistic rendition here. I'm gonna try to just melt this down quickly. I use the purple. I may have added too much green though. It needs to be thinner. That's the hard part, is drawing those real thin lines without them breaking away. And I think what I should have done was melted down the dots, then drawn the lines, because the lines were kind of breaking up. Like, that just broke up again. So sometimes if the colors are like, when I drew the green, it was floating on some of those dots that I drew on there. So when it's floating, sometimes that air in between, it'll like make them separate, which is interesting. Okay. I'll just melt this all down here. Flatten it, put a white back on it, and we'll call it a day. This one's going to be a lot quicker than the others. And I'm not going to worry about floating it away and putting that clear glass in between. But I am going to try to compress this design down some. Maybe bigger dots, since I can't draw the lines smaller, and then that'll help to keep them big. I don't know. Alright, well that's what it looks like there. I don't know if you can even tell what I've done, but I've put like little dots and then I drew the lines down. We'll see if that works. I'm just going to coat this with the white real quick. I may put a white loop on this one. I'd like to add that clear glass layer in between, but it's just, I don't have enough time. So we'll see if this comes out. And is this the last of my white? Oh my gosh, I'm almost out of white also. I have to go get some more color soon. And I do want to make a lot more hot air balloons and use this white. Alright, we'll get this molten here again. Let's spread it out. Alright, and I just melt it down, get it off this rod here, and call it a day. So I'm going to be letting you guys go here really soon. This was attempting to make a lavender plant. It's really hard. I don't know if I can pull it off just yet. I'm going to have to look online and see if there's any other glass artists who attempted to make a lavender and pulled it off. I'm sure there's someone. Like Paul Stankard. That guy's amazing. Suzanne Fowler. Maybe she did. Robert Mickelson. Maybe he's made lavender. These are like the greats of the greats. Legends in glass blowing. I'd mentioned Lewis Wilson, who's local here, but I don't think he's worked on flowers much. He makes more of the native, like the eagle dancers and the native dancers, cachinas, glass cachinas. All right, we're getting there. I just got to try to figure out which way is the top, which way is the bottom. Once I pull this off here, clean up the punchy again every time. Especially when you're working with the white background, you don't want you don't want any kind of other color or anything on there because it will show up. Oh, sorry about that. Got a message coming through. Alright, hopefully that grabbed that good. Feels a little loose and weird. I hope it doesn't fall and drop. Hopefully that purple worked better. I don't know if I made them big enough though, with as thick as the stems are. I don't know if it's gonna look right. So this is the, third attempt. The first one, I completely messed up on the first step and realized I needed to put the petals down first. So that one became a peace sign, which actually came out really nice. Then the second one, that purple was way too light and it has air bubbles. This one, I can see that it's not too light. It's coming through, but way too small compared to the green lines or the stems. And I see some air bubbles as well, once again. So this is my last attempt for now. I got to get going. I got to get my day going. I don't know if this is something I can pull off. It was a request, so I wanted to see if I could make it happen. I've never done a lavender plant before. There's one trick I know. I can make a glass dome, a hollow dome, and then fill it up with liquid epoxy or liquid glass, which is a clear epoxy made specifically for glass. And then I can put a real lavender sprig in there. But that would be cheating. Alright, well this style came out a lot quicker. I didn't add that clear glass layer though. That takes a lot of time adding and melting layers upon layers. It's like an extra 5 to 10 minutes each time. I don't know. We'll see how this one comes out. I'm going to leave it with a clear loop on top again because I don't want to waste the light if it's not coming out right. And if it does come out right, it's still going to look good with a clear loop or bell on top. Okay, I believe that's the top there. Those dots should have been a lot bigger, that's for sure. But that's alright. And when it comes to glass and to art and things, you know, it's always the eye of the beholder. Even though I may not like it, someone else might like it. Someone else might actually see the flower in it or be okay with the air bubbles and things. So I'll complete this. I don't think this is the one I'm going to be gifting to my friend's child. So. Yeah, we'll just have to see how they come out. Once they're out of the kiln, we'll really take a look at them. But I do believe that first one that came out, too many air bubbles. And this one, I just don't think it has the right detail to make it look like lavender. Like, what is that? I don't know. Piece of glass. A glass necklace. Like, but what's the design? Like, I don't know. Some green lines with some purple dots. Alright, well that's done. I don't think that's going to come out looking the way I wanted it to either. I don't know. That looks so weird. It didn't work. Alright, well, I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching and seeing if I can even make these or not. I don't think they came out. I don't like them. So these might just be like giveaways or freebies or whatever. But thanks for tuning in and watching and seeing if I can actually attempt to make these or not. 3 failed attempts. But 1 failed attempt got turned into a really awesome peace sign. So at least I have one one really nice piece that I can sell. All right. Last looks. There it is. That's it. And nothing much. All right. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good day. I'm out.